Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of What the Why with Barbara Ann on RVN. If you haven't seen us before, our show features diverse conversations with leaders from all walks of life about why they do what they do and how they figured things out. Maybe you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, or you feel stuck and you want to get unstuck, whether that's in your career or your life or whatever you happen to be involved in. All of our guests have something in common with you. At some point in their lives, they felt similarly. They wanted to make a pivot, and today is no exception. I have two guests joining me today on our show. Please join me in welcoming LaNette Keeton and Jason Thompson. I'm going to start with a little bit of background about LaNette Keeton, because for those of you who watch the show regularly, LaNette appeared last August, and she's back to talk about a venture that was still in the works when she visited with us last. LaNette Keeton is a serial entrepreneur, philanthropist, and CEO of Serenity Home Infusion Solutions, Serenity Home Healthcare and Nursing Solutions, Canubio, an LLC, and her newest joint business venture, Hydrate IV Therapy and Wellness. As I mentioned, LaNette appeared on our show in August of 2022, and her biography is extensive. And at that time, I ran down like lists of everything that she's accomplished. So we're going to encourage you to just go back and watch that on demand, because what I'd really like to focus on is one of the most important things about her, which is she is a true warrior and entrepreneur. LaNette is a prime example of someone who has pivoted her career path more than once, and that you can do anything you set your mind to with hard work, faith, strong belief in yourself, and a never give up mindset, even when people tell you you should. Most of her ventures result from her seeing a need and deciding that she could create the services that need to exist to fill that need. She opened her first infusion services company in 2017 after successfully establishing a market presence in the home nursing and healthcare industry in 2012. She followed with the successful launch of multiple hydration centers in 2021 and 2022 in Arizona and counting. And she entered the medical infusion space also in Arizona, where she is working to leverage her existing industry relationships to scale that particular concept. And now here we are in 2023, and LaNette, in partnership with Jason Thompson, has opened, and they are co-CEOs of Hydrate IV Therapy and Wellness. So let's learn a little bit about Jason. Jason Thompson is the co-founder and co-CEO of Hydrate IV Therapy and Wellness. He's also director of player development for Rider Men's Basketball, Rider University, and a former American professional basketball player. Now you're going to hear a lot about Jason, because Jason's actually going to be next week's guest as well. But just to give you an idea, Jason is a South Jersey native. He loves basketball. Where he found that love was at the age of 6. He played at LaNette High School, my son's alma mater as well, and he led that team to an undefeated regular season and its first New Jersey Group 4 title in 2004. He went on to become the starting center playing college basketball for Rider Bronx from 2004 to 2008, where he graduated with a degree in communications and television and radio. Thompson is an Associated Press Association, let me make sure I get this right. Associated Press Honorable Mention All-America U.S. Basketball Writers Association District 2 Player of the Year, the National Association of Basketball Coaches All-District 3 selection, and MAAC Player of the Year and the MAAC Defensive Player of the Year at Rider University. We're going to talk, as I mentioned, a lot more because he was selected. He began his career with the Sacramento Kings as part of a lottery pick, and he went on to play for a number of teams that are very familiar to members of our audience, and he even played internationally. I also want to point out that Jason established the Jason Thompson Foundation, a nonprofit organization that promotes health and wellness, hence some of this connection. The foundation's mission is to educate communities on the importance of leading a healthy lifestyle and provides resources to support his efforts. Its commitment to health and wellness extends beyond his foundation work as he actively advocates for physical activity and healthy eating habits. I'm very excited to have both LaNette and Jason joining us in the studio today. So without further ado, let's have a round of applause for LaNette Keeton and Jason Thompson. So there you go. Yay. You get our non-audience, our virtual audience round of applause. So welcome.
Thank you.
And I'm really, really glad that both of you, with your incredible schedules, and by tri-state, all over the country exposure, that you were able to join us here in the studio. And obviously, you are a highly accomplished woman. You are a highly accomplished man. Both of you at different points in your journey, and you're still both just on that upwards trajectory. But one of the few questions that we ask all of our guests is, I don't know that you saw yourselves as being co-CEOs of what is hopefully one of many hydration centers. So
that's the plan.
We got a little bit of a peek into Jason, but what did you want to be when you were little and you were about to grow up and become these wonderfully accomplished people? Who would like to go first?
When I was growing up, I wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
And maybe I didn't take that path, but I didn't stray too far from it.
Okay. And Jason?
Well, I guess like your average kid, I always wanted to be a professional athlete and play in the NBA at some point. Part of my major being in communications, TV, radio, I wanted to be an analyst of some sort. And then also I wanted to be a sports agent. So, I just had, the passion into those three. And then, I guess the rest is history of, me becoming a professional basketball player, but still getting my degree in communications, and then being able to have a certain platform to be able to still do media as I was playing basketball as well.
Awesome. So you made that transition, and one of the many roles that you serve in is with Rider University. Can you talk a little bit about how you ended up there in the role that you are today, and how you connected with LaNette in terms of your partnership together?
Yeah, I always, very loyal to everyone that's helped me throughout my journey and to become the person that I am on the court and off the court. So, part of that was I knew at some point I wanted to give back, to Ryder. And, Kevin Baggett, who's, LaNette's brother, was an assistant coach when I was there, and he had a big impact of, helping me achieve the goals that I wanted to when I was in college. He was the assistant coach at the time, and then now he's been the head coach of Rider men's basketball for the last 11 years. So, to help him, I kind of made the process a little bit faster of helping and providing the new practice facility, for Rider men's, and women's basketball. Also, new locker rooms for both teams, and also new offices for the coaches as well. So, I just wanted to be able to give back at some point, and then to help with the recruiting and, that process, for both sides at the university.
Okay. So the two of you meet through your brother.
Actually, Jason's mother and I have been friends since high school.
Okay.
And, you lose touch as life goes on a little bit, but every time we run into each other, it's just like we just picked up where we left off, and, Yep. And then we went to Europe last summer, and Jason was there with the basketball team, and I had an opportunity to go with the basketball team and watch the games and do all that. And then we started talking about hydration stuff, and I have a hydration center in Arizona, and it was going well, and I was just so excited. I just kept telling him about it. And he wanted to become a part, so I asked him to come in and partner with me.
Okay.
Very nice man. He's a very nice man. I knew we could get along and work well together, and that both of us had a lot to offer the hydration center. And we have a lot of people. We know a lot of people. And I just felt like he and I could come together and really make it work and be successful.
Okay. Now, for those who may not know, who are watching, because this is still fairly new
Yes.
in terms of the health and wellness space. What is a hydration center?
You come and get hydrated. No.
So it's not a bar. Just so we're clear, they're not going to a bar.
No,
of
and
sorts.
hydration is it includes many things, whether it's vitamins, hydration, anti-inflammatory. It could be for anything.
Okay.
Anything. Instead of using medicine that we know of, so now we try to do things the more natural way, and it helps a lot.
Okay. And when you were talking with LaNette about this concept, were you familiar with hydration therapy options?
Yeah, I was kind of familiar just because of being an athlete, and then, especially with the certain schedule that we have and traveling and things, there might be times where I may be dehydrated, or I just need an extra boost of energy. And, the trainer would, set up an IV, in my room. And then I was ready to go to play the next night. So pretty much that goes kind of hand in hand of, to having different vitamins and B12s and things like that. And it's not only for, athletes, it's for, young adults and also adults and elderly, and the list goes on that we can be able to reach. So that was the most intriguing thing, that it's not just my fellow athletes, it could be for anyone.
Right.
All right. Well, believe it or not, we're at the halfway point. So we're going to take a very brief commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll hear more from Mr. Jason Thompson and LaNette Keeton and how they moved forward as co-CEOs of Hydrate IV Therapy and Wellness. Welcome back to What the Why with Barbara Ann on RVN Television, and our very special co-CEOs and co-guests today, Jason Thompson and LaNette Keeton, co-CEOs of Hydrate IV Therapy and Wellness. Now, before the break, we were talking about what a hydration center is and how it works. How did you get the idea, though, that this is the thing for the two of you to actually partner on? I mean, there's so many different things you could have partnered on. I know you said you had a conversation during vacation, but you're a multipreneur. You could have partnered on some of the other ventures, but you decided to move forward with this in New Jersey. So how did you get to that point in the decision?
I was just taken aback by him when we went to Europe. And I just kept saying to my brother and my sister-in-law, he's such a wonderful young man. He's so nice and respectful and polite. And all that meant something to me. And he's an athlete, and we talked about it for a couple of days, right? We kept talking about it for a couple of days, and I just wanted to see how excited he would get about it and see how passionate he was with it. And when I realized that he was just as passionate as me, I was like, come on, partner with me. And I was just hoping that he would say yes. I had a conversation with my brother and them beforehand, and I was like, I'm going to ask him to partner. And my brother said he thought that was wonderful, and that he loved Jason and thought that Jason was a very nice man. And he said, go for it. He said he'll let you know if he's interested or not. And I said, Jason, do you want a partner? And he was like, sure. And I was like, okay, wonderful. And he has the same enthusiasm, and he's all hyped up like I am about it. And we're just so excited, and we can't wait to get open. So this is going to be good.
And it sounds like, so some of the words that you use, same enthusiasm, similar vision. A lot of people who go into business as partners don't really think through that thoroughly enough in order to make a partnership work. I mean, you hear the stories, when you're at work all day, you're with the people you work with more than anybody else in your life, and you're co-CEOs of this new venture. And so it sounds like you really took time to make sure, okay, I'm going to have to be with this person. And
I asked him to go to lunch a couple times, and for me, going to lunch with Jason was more for him to get to know me as a person and for me to get to know him as a person. And I just wanted to make sure that, we could work well together. And, business, co-CEOs is kind of like a marriage. You have to be able to talk about things. And, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes of a business. And so Jason's very, very easy to work with, And I find that to be a pleasure, because I've worked with people that were not that easy. So, yeah.
And so now you've opened your location. Talk to us about your new location.
Yeah, well, even to piggyback what LaNette was saying, that one of the reasons why I kind of had a passion in it, just because my mom is in the medical field. She was an RN, and she's been around it for 40 years. So just being a son around it as well, and knowing the impact it could have for people in the area. So I was very intrigued with that, and the location just made sense. I mean, I think that actually some of my family went to Washington Township High School, which is just across from. I'm very familiar with the area as well. And like I said, I mean, I know we have a lot of people knowing that, Rowan University and other nearby schools and things like that. So we're very, excited about the opportunity. It's been, very overwhelming, to say the least, but it's been great, and the reactions that we've been having with the community has been really good as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. And as someone who's had the opportunity to see other centers as well as be in your brand new beautiful facility, I know what makes you different, but explain to our audience what makes you different from some of the other chain options that are out there.
Well, first, we offer a lot more. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I think it's if you look on our website, and I think it's the options that we can give. I think that we're very lenient on some of the things that we can give. Like you said, it doesn't just only go to the athlete. If you're not very familiar with how hydration and wellness is, then, we can explain it to you, very family oriented. It's from, like you said, kids to young adults to elderly. And it's a family type atmosphere. That's what we want to have. So,
Exactly.
part of having at the soft opening, all our family and friends were there. And then we expect to have the same when we have the grand opening as well. So we want everyone to be comfortable and not, be nervous or shy if they're not educated on it. We love to be there. We will be there as well, too.
Yes, we will.
And welcoming to everyone that wants, and eventually we'll be able to have mobile as well too.
Yes, exactly. And we not only offer hydration stuff, but we offer wellness stuff. So we'll have a doctor on site, we have a nurse practitioner on site, and they will help women with like menopause, and they also help men. And so we do a lot more than just the hydration stuff.
And that's another key thing about what makes this so different, especially with you, your passion, your foundation, your passion, your philanthropy that you've done. Helping people deal with those other issues is not something that you see in the other centers.
Right, exactly. And so we're just happy to be able to offer that. I mean, I offer that in the hydration center that we have in Arizona. And so I just wanted to be able to offer that here because I see how excited the women get in Arizona, about being able to come and sit down with a doctor and just go over stuff. And it's more of a naturopathic stuff as opposed to regular medicine.
Which is fantastic, especially in a world of post-long COVID.
Exactly.
I know in my own personal case, that's why I sought out the services, and they definitely were not what you're going to be offering,
exactly.
shall we say. In terms of next steps, I mean, you did just open, but where do you go from here?
More centers. We're going to do mobile hydration stuff, and we hope to open up a lot more centers. And not just hope, we will open up a lot more centers. Okay. So I'm looking forward to that.
Any particular areas that you're looking at this point?
All over New Jersey.
Okay.
Well, also, too, to go off of what we want to bring, obviously we want to do, the wellness part of recovery, like, eventually, hopefully, cryotherapy, salt chambers, cold tub, hot tubs. Like I said, being able to maybe massages or whatever, just on certain areas. Exactly. Yeah. So just certain things like that. We don't ever want to limit ourselves, but as long as we have like the space and the opportunity, we want to help as much people as we can.
Exactly.
Now, as serial entrepreneurs, both of you, I mean, really, how do you manage? I mean, you're co-CEOs, so that is definitely a responsibility sharing. You have a very important role at the university. You have your foundation. Again, multiple locations in different areas of wellness. You're passionate about wellness. How do you strategize around the logistics of all of the different things that you have going on?
You mean how do we balance?
That's a better way of putting it, actually.
I think it's the important part is the people that you hire.
Exactly.
So we have people that we trust and are very, like I said, family oriented and very easy to talk to with people and customer service and stuff like that. And like I said, most importantly, trustworthy.
Yep.
So when we're not there, nothing is going to miss a beat.
Exactly.
And that's how we've been doing things. That's how we're teaching the people that are working with us. And being able, and then like I said, for customers to be able to give their opinions on how their treatments are and how they are, and then like you said, we keep learning and building each and every day.
And we try to hire like-minded individuals like us. And so we have a gentleman that we hired that's going to help us to run it, and he's phenomenal, and his passion is the same as ours, and he's very excited, can't wait to get started, all that stuff. So we try to hire like-minded individuals.
So what I'm hearing you say is that really your passion and your commitment to making this happen is really what helps you keep going as you balance all of the other things that you're doing.
Exactly. And I didn't want to be one to sit in the office and run it all the time. That's not my passion. My passion is to get it up and going and then look for the next one and then the next one and scout out different locations, and that's where my interest is, and that's what I love doing. So that's going to be my part for our hydration.
All right.
And to help it expand.
And I look forward to having you back to talk about the chain of Hydrate IV therapy and wellness. Believe it or not, we're at time.
Okay.
So thank you very much to both of you.
Thank you for having us.
For those who are watching, we're going to have Jason back with us again next week. And you're going to hear more about how he has evolved to the point where he is as a multipreneur, and more about his foundation work as well. So also, please tune in for other exciting guests in the coming weeks, because you don't want to miss what any of them have to say. As a reminder, What the Why airs on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. For those of you who are on the West Coast, my viewers out there, hi. And it also airs at 3:30 p.m. on Monday afternoons at Eastern Daylight Time. In addition to that, you can watch us anytime on demand on rvntelevision.com, as well as Roku, Amazon Fire, and other platforms. And please remember, whether you're looking to make any changes in your life, no matter how big or small, join us again for more inspirational, informative, and enlightening conversations with guests such as Jason and LaNette, who figured out how they wanted to partner together to find their core purpose in bringing health and wellness to the world in a very unique way compared to their competitors, and live their purpose.